What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Conor McGregor still has sights set on Nate Diaz trilogy. As Conor McGregor looks to make his highly anticipated return to the octagon later this year, the possibility of a trilogy fight with Nate Diaz has continued to surface in the headlines. When the Stockton superstar picked up a big win over Tony Ferguson at UFC 279, McGregor took to Twitter saying that the two would clash again in the future. Then, recently, Diaz made headlines when he told Michael Chandler backstage at UFC 285 not to beat Conor McGregor when they fight because he and the Irish superstar were quote, unquote, trying to do something. As fans continue to speculate in regards to Diaz's next move as he navigates free agency, Conor McGregor has once again stoked the flames of a trilogy fight with his longtime rival. During a recent interview after he landed in New York, McGregor stated that he's looking forward to completing the trilogy in the future, while calling Diaz the toughest opponent he's faced.
Diaz was a tough cat, and I look forward to completing that trilogy against Nate at some stage in the game.
I love it.
With Diaz currently being a free agent, it'll be interesting to see whether a fight between he and McGregor is enough to entice the Stockton superstar into re-signing with the promotion, or if he winds up deciding to go another route, given that Rizin boss Nobuyuki Sakakibara has floated the idea of a potential Diaz versus Mayweather exhibition bout. It's clear there's other money fights out there for Diaz to pursue. Do you think McGregor and Diaz clash for a third time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Leon Edwards thinks Kamaru Usman is on his way out of the sport. On Saturday, former UFC welterweight champion Kamaru Usman will look to reclaim the title he lost in devastating fashion last year. Heading into the fight, Usman is a considerable favorite, while Edwards sits as the betting underdog. While many have predicted that Usman will return in dominant fashion, the champion thinks that he's already on his way out. During a recent interview, Rocky spoke about the state of Usman's career.
Who knows? That's the question, right? He's 36 years old, been in many tough fights. He thought he can never be beaten. And then to be sparked like that does have a mental thing on you, I know he pretend like he doesn't care and he was happy he got knocked out because the pressures as champion is too hard, and I'm happy that I got knocked out, but like for me it doesn't make no sense, and
for his part, Usman has maintained that although he knows Edwards will be entering the fight with plenty of confidence, he has no doubt that he'll be able to capitalize on the momentum of rounds 2, 3, and 4 from their last meeting. How do you see the rematch playing out? Before we continue, make sure you give that like button some love, and be sure to subscribe to the MMA Zone for all of the latest news. Sean Strickland wants Jon Jones banned from the UFC. Outspoken middleweight Sean Strickland is making sure his voice is heard in regards to Jon Jones' reign as heavyweight champion. On the heels of Jones making a successful return to the octagon at UFC 285, Strickland didn't pull any punches when discussing Jones' upcoming fight with Stipe Miocic.
Greatest fighter in the world. But Jon Jones sucks, you guys. He failed the most drug tests. He beat his wife bloody. He hit a pregnant lady and drove off, breaking her arms. So my thing is, yes, you could have been the greatest fighter, but with how many drug tests you failed, it's not right. It's not right. Jon Jones should never be allowed to fight in the UFC again. It's a mockery that they let him fight. Stipe, bro, please, man, do it for me.
From the sounds of things, Jones will likely return to active competition this summer as he and Miocic headline the UFC's International Fight Week card. With Miocic being out of competition for quite some time now, the fight community is eager to see how things play out when the former champ returns to action. Do you think he'll be able to overcome the ring rust and emerge victorious against Jones? Or is the Johnny Bones era at heavyweight here to stay? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Justin Gaethje eyeing title shot or Poirier rematch with UFC 286 win. As Justin Gaethje looks to make final preparations ahead of his UFC 286 clash with Rafael Fiziev, he's got his sights set on UFC Gold. The fight will be the first for the highlight since he was submitted by Charles Oliveira last year in Phoenix, Arizona. However, with a win, he believes he'll be right back in title contention. During the UFC 286 Media Day, Gaethje spoke about the must-win position he's in heading into Saturday's clash in London.
I think I'm sitting at number 3 right now. I'm going to fight, down in the rankings as I think I should. And then after that, there's Poirier in front of me, Oliveira in front of me. Who's going to fight Dariush? The winner of that fight's going to fight for the title. So I either fight Poirier next, and if that's not the case, then I fight for the title.
With the 155-pound division being one of the most stacked in the UFC, it'll be interesting to see where Gaethje potentially lands with a win. As he pointed out, it seems right now as though the winner of UFC 288's Oliveira vs. Dariush fight is next up for a crack at the title. First, he'll have to get through Rafael Fiziev, who has rattled off 6 straight wins inside the octagon, with a recent knockout win over Rafael dos Anjos catapulting him into the outskirts of the title conversation. How do you see the fight playing out? The rematch is going down this weekend in London. In their last matchup, I think everyone thought Kamaru had it in the bag until Leon shocked the world with his head kick. In celebration of the rematch, DraftKings Sportsbook is giving every new customer $200 in bonus bets instantly after they place their first $5 wager. You heard me right. New customers that bet just $5 on any wager will instantly receive $200 in bonus bets. If you're wondering what you could use your $200 on, try out DraftKings Same Fight Parlays, where you can combine multiple bets on the same fight for even more action. If mobile sports betting isn't available in your state yet, don't worry. You can still get in on the fun with DraftKings Daily Fantasy, where they offer cash prize contests for nearly every sport. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers who use promo code MMAZone and bet $5 will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code MMAZone, only at DraftKings Sportsbook. Francis Ngannou drops big update on next MMA fight. While Francis Ngannou continues to pursue a boxing match with Deontay Wilder, the former UFC heavyweight champion dropped a pretty big bombshell on his next move. As he revealed on a recent episode of the MMA Hour, he's narrowed down his decision to either ONE FC or the PFL.
I have made my decision.
Oh.
I haven't made a done deal yet. I know what my next move gonna be. I know that I want to fight boxing first. Then after that, I will fight MMA. I'm gonna sign with one MMA promotion. I haven't made a decision on that yet. Very close.
Of course, first, Ngannou will set his sights on making his professional boxing debut. Although nothing has been finalized, he and Deontay Wilder have verbally agreed to a fight deal that could see them compete in both boxing and MMA. Currently, Arjan Bhullar sits atop the ONE FC heavyweight division, with undefeated Anatoly Malikin holding the interim championship belt. When it comes to the PFL, 23-5 Ante Delia is the most recent tournament winner. Where do you think Ngannou ends up signing? Drop your predictions down below. Conor McGregor eyeing 170-pound title run. When Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler square off, it sounds as though they will be doing so at 170 pounds. During a recent surprise appearance on the MMA Hour, McGregor spoke about his return, fielding questions about his eligibility. While it looked as though McGregor would have to undergo 6 months of testing in order to fight, he's repeatedly said that he just needs to produce 2 clean tests. As he told Ariel Helwani, he has a meeting scheduled to go over things with USADA to figure out the next step to his return, and apparently a welterweight title fight. Although he seems open to competing at 155 pounds again, his immediate future is at welterweight.
170. Is that the new weight class?
Nah, it's not. I don't. No, I'm 170 next, man. Leave it out.
You win this fight, do you get a title shot?
Yeah, I'd like so. I would like that.
You get the winner of Leon and Kamaru?
I may be present for the card.
While McGregor has not competed at 170 pounds since his victory over Donald Cerrone, his star power certainly could be enough to launch him right into a title fight if he defeats Michael Chandler. Do you think McGregor can capture UFC gold at welterweight? And now for the breaking news story of the day. We have Joe Rogan reacting to Conor McGregor not in the USADA testing pool yet, despite claims that he'll be fighting Michael Chandler. USADA put out this statement about Conor McGregor. While the rules permit the UFC to make an exception to the 6-month rule in exceptional circumstances, when the strict application of the rule would be manifestly unfair to the athlete, our position, which we have made clear, is that Conor should be in the testing pool for the full 6-month period. Conor then replied on Twitter saying, USADA is going in the bin. Here's what Joe Rogan had to say about the situation.
The thing is, the USADA testing pool, I don't want to harp on this too much, but this is a giant issue for multiple reasons. Let's speculate he got out of the USADA testing pool. This is what I would imagine if I was a pro athlete at Conor's level and I broke my leg. You need help, okay? You're not just going to heal off that eating mangoes and and eating clean. You need some help. You know, I would say I would want that person to take something. You want peptides, you want growth hormone, you want this, you want that. You want all these things you can't take when you're in USADA. You want testosterone, you want all these things. And you look at Conor after that leg break, he got jacked.
Ripped.
Just gigantic. Like 200 plus pounds, it looks like. Just huge shoulders. And that's generally not the result of natural hormones.
Sure.
That's generally the result of exogenous hormone use. I don't know if that's true. When you look at the USADA testing pool and the fact that he's not in it, that also comes into. So now here's the thing. You're in your 30s, you're 35 or whatever Conor is, 34, and you've disrupted your hormones with exogenous hormones. Now your body has to get back to developing its own hormones. And generally speaking, when people take steroids, and I'm not saying he took steroids, but generally speaking, if someone takes steroids, say if you take steroids for 6 months, you need a year to bounce back to normal hormone levels after that, especially if you're doing it naturally.
Sure.
Now, there's things you can take like HCG and clomiphene and all these different things that restart your body's production of testosterone. But you have to make sure that that's all done before you enter into the USADA testing pool. So then you have to be in the USADA testing pool for 6 full months before you're allowed to compete. So this is where it stands. So until he enters into that, we don't know when this fight is going to happen from now.
Right.
If he says it now, tonight, I'm going to enter the USADA testing pool.
Minimum 6 months.
Yeah. So I would imagine, there's no accusations, but if someone was doing something, they would have a team of people that are testing them, and they continue to test them and make sure you're not going to test positive. Because if you test positive in the USADA testing pool, you're out for 2 years, kid.
The casual fan just doesn't think about, you know what I mean? Like you just want the fight to happen, you know what I mean?
Well, the fight will be awesome if it happens.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to stay up to date with MMA news every day. Here are the top comments from yesterday's video. Leon stole his soul and kicked Usman's soul into the ghost realm. I think that Usman forgot he lost the first round to Edwards, so I don't know what he was talking about taking his soul for 4 rounds. He was 100% winning the fight, but he 100% lost the first round. Francis acting like he didn't intentionally negotiate his way out of the UFC and selling with his ego is hilarious. LOL, I think Usman's soul left him after that head kick. He was lying supine with eyes wide open and feet quivering on the mat. And those were the top comments from yesterday's video. If you want to be featured on our next video, make sure to leave a comment and don't forget to check out yesterday's video in case you missed it.